In a quiet countryside village in England, there was an old abandoned house at the edge of the forest. People called it Willow House. No one lived there for more than 50 years. Locals believed the house was cursed, but nobody could explain why. Strange things often happened near it. Animals avoided the area, and at night, people sometimes heard soft whispers in the wind. Despite these stories, a young historian named Oliver Grant decided to study the house. Oliver was 28 years old, curious, and passionate about uncovering forgotten history. He did not believe in curses, only in facts and explanations. One summer morning, he arrived at Willow House with a notebook, a camera, and a flashlight. The house looked large and forgotten, covered in ivy and surrounded by tall grass. The windows were broken, and the wooden door was half open. Inside, the air was cold and dusty. Old furniture stood covered in white sheets, and spider webs hung from the ceiling. Oliver began to explore room by room, taking notes about the architecture and condition of the building. Everything seemed normal for an abandoned house until he reached the attic. There, he found a small wooden chest hidden under the floorboards. It was old, carved with strange symbols he did not recognize. Carefully, he opened it. Inside were several ancient objects: a black stone pendant, a small silver mirror, and a leather-bound journal written in a language that looked very old. Oliver felt excited. These objects were clearly historical and possibly valuable. He decided to take them back to his rented cottage nearby for study. That evening, while reading the journal, he noticed something strange. Although he could not fully understand the writing, some words appeared to repeat again and again: watch, return, and shadow. He assumed it might be a warning or religious text, but he did not feel afraid. Over the next few days, Oliver continued studying the objects. The mirror reflected strangely, even when no one stood in front of it. The stone pendant felt unusually cold to the touch, even in warm weather. And sometimes, when he worked late at night, he thought he heard whispers inside his cottage. At first, he ignored these things. But soon, strange events began happening in the village. One morning, the baker said she saw a shadow standing outside her shop, even though no one was there. A farmer claimed his animals refused to enter certain fields. Another villager reported hearing someone calling his name at night. All these events started after Oliver brought the objects from Willow House. Still, Oliver refused to believe there was any connection. He thought it was just coincidence and local superstition. However, things became more serious. One night, while studying the mirror, Oliver saw something that made his heart stop. For a brief moment, instead of his reflection, he saw a dark figure standing behind him. He quickly turned around, but the room was empty. The next morning, he visited Willow House again, hoping to find more answers. As he entered the attic, he noticed something terrible. The wooden chest was now empty. The objects were gone. On the floor, written in dust, were the same strange symbols from the journal. Oliver suddenly felt uneasy. He returned to the village library to research the symbols. After hours of searching old books, he discovered something shocking. The symbols belonged to an ancient belief system that spoke of memory, objects. According to the texts, some objects could store emotions, fear, and even darkness from the past. If someone removed them from their original place, the stored energy would spread and affect people nearby. Oliver realized with growing fear that the objects from Willow House might not just be historical items. They might be carriers of something dangerous. That night, strange things increased. People in the village began experiencing nightmares. Some said they saw shadows in their homes. Others felt watched at all times. Oliver also began feeling different. He could not sleep properly. He often heard whispers calling his name from outside his window. Desperate for answers, he returned to Willow House one final time. Inside the house, the atmosphere felt heavier than before. The air was colder, and the silence felt unnatural. In the center of the attic, he found the objects again, now placed in a circle. The black pendant, the mirror, and the journal were all glowing faintly. Suddenly, the whispers grew louder. Oliver opened the journal, and this time he could clearly understand the final page. It read, "We are bound here. When taken away, we follow." Oliver finally understood the truth. These objects were not just artifacts. They were connected to something ancient and dangerous that had been sealed inside the house. By removing them, he had released whatever was trapped inside. As the whispers grew louder, Oliver carefully placed each object back where he found them. The moment the last object touched the floor, the silence returned. The cold feeling disappeared. Slowly, the house became still again. Over the next few days, strange events in the village stopped. People felt normal again, and the nightmares ended. Oliver never told anyone everything he experienced. He only wrote in his journal that some things in history are better left undisturbed. Willow House remained abandoned, but now Oliver understood why. Some places do not simply contain history. They contain memories that should never be disturbed. And sometimes, when those memories are taken away, they do not stay silent. They follow.